advantage has streamed through. Advil Kiprop is miles ahead here. Eilidh Doyle, can she hang on? It's going to be tight. Oh, that's a beautiful job. These two battling it out once again. And she made that look, frankly, pretty straightforward. Oh, that's how to do it. That's a brilliant performance.
Yes, it's the final Diamond League meeting of the season, with the world's leading athletes going head-to-head as they bid to claim the overall prize in their individual disciplines. With 16 Diamond Race trophies set to be handed out, the 40th staging of the Memorial Van Damme meet at Brussels' King Baudouin Stadium is sure to be an action-packed occasion. First up on track, it's the women's 400-metre hurdles with Britain's Eilidh Doyle. Her first season competing under her married name has seen Eilidh triumph in both Doha and Monaco, where she set a new personal best.
54.09. Well, that is one heck of a confidence boost.
Her Olympic bronze medal in the 4x400-metre relay in Rio saw her become the joint most decorated female Scottish athlete of all time. And if she can finish ahead of her main rival, Cassandra Tate, in Brussels, then she can cap a memorable year with overall victory in the Diamond Race. Calling the action for us are commentators Tim Hutchings and Stuart Story.
Yes, there's the lineup, all 9 lanes being used here in the King Baudouin Stadium. Britain's Eilidh Doyle goes in lane 4 and she leads the Diamond Race with 36 points from Tate of the USA on 30 points. Double points, remember, here tonight, 20 points for the winner, just 12 for second. Twice world champion, the reigning world champion, Zuzana Hejnova, who was troubled by Achilles issues prior to Rio. 4th in Rio, couldn't get amongst the medals, the Czech. Eilidh Doyle, well, what a fabulous season she's had, but in lane 1 in Rio, she ended up finishing in 8th place. That really didn't reflect the quality of her season. Sarah Pettersson is in 5 outside the Britain. The silver medalist from Rio and the European champion a few weeks prior to that in Amsterdam. Cassandra Tate, second in that Diamond Race, just a few points behind Eilidh Doyle. She's the real threat.
Set.
Well, fairly even out of the blocks, although probably one of the quickest away is in 7. Cassandra Tate, third from left, has gone off very quickly indeed. Doyle has gone off fast too. She's closing up on Pettersson outside. Pettersson, remember, centre of picture, with Doyle just easing onto her shoulder. Is a very strong finisher, holds her form well, but Doyle has really gone for this one. She's attacked it no end, with Hejnova, the world champion, third from right, in lane 3 inside her. Just past halfway, and Hejnova not closing on Doyle at the moment, who's really committed over the first 250. Strong running from Pettersson around this bend. Doyle hasn't really made any impression on the Dane as they come into the straight. 100 to go. Still going well in lane 7 is Cassandra Tate. She leads at the moment. Doyle beginning to go backwards. It's all unwinding for the Briton as Tate leads to the line with Pettersson coming through to second place. Very tight for third. And in fact, in lane 6 there's Khalees Spencer who takes third place. Well, that throws it all amongst the pigeons, doesn't it? Because Doyle going backwards there really didn't judge her race well. It's such a shame. She's had a fabulous season, has held her form so well since Rio, with second in Lausanne and third in Zurich. But the winner tonight in 54.47 is Cassandra Tate.
Well, let's just have a look from the start. I think that Eilidh Doyle did absolutely the right thing. She went for this one. She really had to try out how she could run. She went very, very quickly. If anything, perhaps a little bit quick to 300, between 2 and 3. But I tell you what, she really gave it everything. Tate, though, was always in contention. And Pettersson, well, what a performer she's proved to be from the European Championships in Amsterdam. And beyond that, well, to get the silver medal, absolutely superb. Absolutely superb.
Confirmation of that win, 54.47 there to Pettersson's 54.60. Khalees Spencer 55.05 with Hejnova in 4th as in Rio.
So Tate came in with 30 points and she is the Diamond Race winner, takes it away from Eilidh Doyle.
For the first time in the 40-year history of the Brussels meeting, one of the field events has been held outside the King Baudouin Stadium. All three of the Olympic women's shot put medalists were in action in the Belgian capital's Grande Place, its famous city hall forming an impressive backdrop. And it was reigning Olympic champion Michelle Carter of the USA who came out on top on Thursday evening, finishing ahead of her arch-rival Valerie Adams. There was some consolation for the New Zealander, though, having already clinched a 5th diamond trophy.
Well, in the women's javelin, in third place was Kara Winger of the United States. She's the United States record holder, incidentally, and 8th placer in the World Championships last year in Beijing. Her 4th round throw here of 61 metres and 86 was in fact her season's best, so she saved the very best till last. Barbara Spatakova, well, she was 2nd, the world record holder, twice former Olympic champion, with 4 throws over 60 metres. Her best came in round 5 at 63 metres and 78. Great athlete to be a double Olympic champion. And there's the series. But the winner today, Madara Palamaika of Latvia, the European champion, was 5th in the Rio Olympic Games, but her first throw of 66 metres and 18 was a national record for Latvia, just advancing her own national record figures. 4 throws beyond 60 metres, and also confirmation that she is the diamond race winner for 2016. Well, the next event on the track, the women's 100 metres, and what a lineup we've got. Tarmo of the United States, Facey, Jamaica, Horn, South Africa, Elaine Thompson, Jamaica, Daphne Schippers, Netherlands, Christiana Williams, Jamaica, Desiree Henry, Great Britain, Natasha Morrison of Jamaica. Well, what about Elaine Thompson? Double Olympic champion, 100 and 200 metres, 10.70 her personal best. Absolutely flying at the moment. Won the 100 in Lausanne, won the 200 in Zurich, against once again Daphne Schippers. A lot of support here for this woman. Disappointing in the 100 metres, she was 5th in that race, but 2nd also in the 200 metres. Christiana Williams, silver medalist in the 4x1 in Rio as part of the Jamaican squad. Well, Desiree Henry is having a cracking latter part of the season. The 200 metres in Paris at 22.46. Well, Schippers got away well, and so did Williams of Jamaica, but here goes Elaine Thompson. Thompson flying down there. Thompson absolutely burying this field. It's a superb win. Schippers in 2nd, 10.74. Wow. The meeting record she desperately wanted to beat at 10.72, held by Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price. That was in September 2013, but that was an absolute demonstration. Wonderful. 10.72. It equals the meeting record. It's been upgraded. What a performer. So, meeting record equaled, but Schippers, of course, is better over 200, but at the moment being totally dominated by the Jamaican Elaine Thompson. Powerhouse away from the blocks. I must say, Williams got away well. The yellow top on the diminutive figure on the left, but then this is where Thompson took over.
Well, I mean, she just tore them apart, Stu. You described it right. That's a 2.5 metre victory over Schippers, who herself is well clear of the rest of the field. That was almost Bolt-esque. Quite astonishing. Only 4 other athletes in history have gone quicker than that. But she continued to accelerate right the way through to about 18 metres, hitting speeds that Schippers couldn't get close. Didn't have the best of starts, Schippers, although her pickup was poor, I thought. But Thompson has thrashed them there. And the time equaling a stadium record in a meeting with the heritage that this one has, it really says a great deal.
Well, there's the result of the 100 metres. Elaine Thompson, 10.72, equals the meeting record. Schippers, 10.97, and Williams, 11.09 in 3rd. There it is, 50 points. She wins it. Had Schippers won, they'd have both had 42 points, but Schippers would have won the diamond, but it didn't go that way at all.
Well, in the men's discus, 3rd place, going to the man who was 6th in Rio. Tonight in the discus, it was Lukas Weisheidinger. The Austrian's best came in round 4. His 64 metres 73, less than 1.5 metres shy of his season's best. 2nd in Rio, he led for 5 rounds, and then Christoph Harting taking gold in round 6 to deny him was, of course, Piotr Malachowski of Poland. produced a fabulous series in Rio, but not here. Is 65-27. Coming in round one, he closed his series with 3 no throws, but fatigue is allowed, and the Diamond League title was some consolation. The surprise winner tonight, the 24-year-old Swede, Daniel Stahl. He went out in qualifying in Rio, was 5th in the European Championships in Amsterdam mid-season, but set a personal best on the 28th of August after Rio and is in fine form. Here producing a great effort, 65-78 in round 3. But Stahl surprising the big names with that victory, by half a metre or so ahead of Malachowski and Weisheidinger down in 3rd. Malachowski confirms the diamond race winner, came into the competition with 42 points and was more or less uncatchable. While the athletes are waiting patiently out on the track for this women's 400 metres, again, all 9 lanes being used. Shericka Jackson, the Olympic bronze medalist, goes in lane 3 for Jamaica in what is a strong field, and fascinatingly, Caster Semenya goes in lane 4. And there is Caster Semenya, quite a surprising personal best of 50.74 in Stellenbosch back in April at the end of the South African season for the Olympic 800 metres champion. How will she go here? That's a good lane draw, lane 4. Stephanie Ann McPherson goes in 5. Good form since Rio. She was 2nd in Paris and 1 in Rovereto, beating the Rio silver medalist Jackson. And goes in lane 3, remember. There's Natasha Hastings, the world number 5 this year. 4th in Rio, in very good form with a win in Paris and 2nd in Zagreb in the last couple of weeks. Courtney Okolo goes in lane 7 for the USA. Set. Well, Semenya's got into a running very quickly there, 4th from right. Slight gap developing between herself and McPherson, centre of picture in lane 5. Also, as ever, Natasha Hastings, 3rd from left now in lane 6, has gone off very quickly indeed through the first 200 metres. McPherson in 5, also going well and probably leading at the moment, beginning to close on Hastings there with that shock of orange hair, 3rd to left. Semenya's got some work to do with that 800 metre runner's strength, surely will show through the last 150. Semenya still in the battle there in lane 4 as they come into the straight now. It's McPherson who leads in 5, battling away with Hastings in 6. Here comes Semenya. That 800 metre runner's strength is gradually eating them up. Is she going to get there? Surely she is. She does. Semenya takes it. 50.42 in her first really significant 400 metres on the international athletics scene. And that a new personal best for Semenya. Brilliant run for the South African. And it's a superb but rare ability to double at 400 and 800 metres with such competence. That was a wonderful piece of 400 metre running.
Yeah, it was pretty well even-paced, wasn't it? But the power of that strength endurance just taking over from Steph McPherson of Jamaica, who must have thought she'd got that. But I have to say, Natasha Hastings ran the fastest first 200 metres, paid a little bit for that in the end, and Nicolo of the United States was given 2nd in that race, incidentally, and McPherson 3rd. That's extraordinary. The American, who won in Zagreb earlier this week, finished very, very strongly indeed, right on the outside. Look at that. That's about as close as it gets, isn't it?
Well, there's McPherson recovering from that 400 metres. She didn't win the race, but she does win the diamond race with 39 points to Hastings 32. Some consolation, $40,000 US. And Semenya, the winner on the night, in that personal best, 50.40 ahead of Okolo, McPherson, Jackson, Hastings finishing down in 5th place, but under 51 seconds. Well, here is Catherine Ibaguen, twice world champion, now the Olympic champion. Fabulous form from the Colombian, 1466 in the 6th round, capped off a fabulous series with no less than 4 efforts beyond 14 metres 50. Turbo powered 3 phases there into the sand and didn't look too far shy of 15 metres, eventually 1466, but lovely rhythm, tons of power, great height there too, and that final phase was monstrous.
She was one of those athletes who came here knowing that she was the diamond winner and won pretty well everything there is this season. 76 points ahead of Ripakova's 39 and Papachristou at 20, so it was quite a dominant triple jump performance over the season.
Still to come, she set a new world record in Rio at 10,000 metres. Can Ethiopia's Almaz Ayana repeat the feat in the women's 5,000 metres? Britain's Robbie Grabarts is one of 4 men battling for the Diamond Trophy in the high jump finale. Could 3-time world champion Asbel Kiprop clinch victory in the 1,500-metre diamond race? Britain's Adam Jamili and Danny Talbot are amongst the field in the men's 200 metres. Would the world record fall at the feet of Conseslus Kipruto in the men's steeplechase? And it's a straight fight between Ferguson Chariot Rotich and Pierre Ambrose Bos for the 800-metre Diamond Trophy.
Well, the next event on the track, the men's high hurdles, the 110-metre hurdles. There's the lineup for you. Manga of France, Baji of Hungary, Amorogi of Great Britain, Basco of France, Ortega of Spain, Martineau Lagarde of France, Trajkovic of Cyprus, Belosian of France, and Eaton of the United States right on the outside. Amorogi of Great Britain, 13:24 in Berlin just recently to set a new personal best. Big improvement. Basco, the Olympic bronze medalist, the European champion this year, been going very well indeed. But Ortega, the Olympic Games silver medalist, the former Cuban, just beaten off from gold by Omar McLeod of Jamaica, but he's a tough cookie. Diamond League winner, incidentally. He's got 40 points already. Martineau Lagarde was beaten by Amorogi of Great Britain in that Berlin race. He also ran 13:24.
Set.
Well, pretty even at the start. Outside Basco going very strongly indeed. Amorogi is struggling at the moment, but here comes Martineau Lagarde, and with Ortega too. Ortega's going to take this. Martineau Lagarde in second place. And I think Basco in third, but the time, 13.08. And that is pretty quick. So once again, Orlando Ortega of Spain, the former Cuban, he is making a big impact on them. Martineau Lagarde, Belosian it was in third, just ahead of Basco. Belosian on the near side came through very strongly indeed. Let me just have a look at the technique of this. Not a lot in it right at the start, but certainly Ortega looks really fluent in the middle. Martineau Lagarde looks to have the lead here, and on the near side, Belosian going very strongly as well. And he, in fact, just takes the third place, as Basco actually gave up at the end of the race. But Ortega is so very strong over the hurdle. He comes off the hurdle very quickly. Look at that. Total and utter determination. Down the centre of the hurdle. Trail leg quick. Gets down to the deck quick. Leans in. Total control in the end. Very powerful last 30 or 40 metres.
Well, I thought Martineau Lagarde had that one put to bed. He was well ahead, but Ortega takes it, and he is indeed the diamond race winner.
Well, there's the confirmation of the result of the high hurdles. Ortega 13:08. Pascal Martineau Lagarde, a season's best actually, at 13:12. And Belosian 13:32 in third place, just ahead of Basco.
The men's high jump has the potential to be the most enthralling contest of the night. Only 6 points separate diamond race leader Bogdan Bondarenko of Ukraine from Britain's Robbie Grabarts in fourth place, with Qatar's Mutaz Essa Barsham and Eric Kinnard of the USA also in the running for the overall trophy. The scene is set for a four-way tussle in Brussels.
Bogdan Bondarenko, a man who's cleared 247 times in his career, having a hiccup there at 2:26. So many men had gone clear already that there was no point in him taking any more efforts. So here he is. No! Oh dear. 2:29. It doesn't seem that the head is together tonight in this very demanding event. One failure at 2:26, another now at 2:29. He's got one life left. I can tell you that a couple of men already clear at 2:29. Eric Kinnard and Protsenko have both gone clear. Ironically, the teammate of Bondarenko, who's in a bit of trouble.
Bashim, 2:29. The high jump now beginning into the arena of respectability. And Mutaz Esha Basim had a dreadful season last season, had an indifferent start to this one, but when it came to the Olympic Games, got himself a silver medal, and was 2 meters and 36. He had such difficulty after jumping the 2:43 the season before. So much was expected and so much pressure put on him and Bondarenko, in fact, for the to attempt that world record that has stood for so many years to Javier Sotomayor at 2:45.
Well, the next event on the track, the women's 5,000 metres, and what a big field it is. Steph Twell going in this one, the European Championships bronze medalist at 5,000. 12.5 laps on the track. There's a lot of familiar names here, but Almaz Ayana tops them all. They're third from the bottom, the Olympic champion and world record holder as a result of her time in Rio at 10,000 metres. Could finish no better than third over this distance in Rio a few days after her 10,000 exploits. But here she is, fresh and ready to go, we understand. This is her first race since Rio. Ayana, well, on her day, is well capable of breaking the world record figures of Tirunesh Dibaba. 14:11.15, that is the target. So the drums begin, they're booming. The band on the second bend, the athletes passing them about now. I don't know if you'll see them, there they are. But the important thing, though, is to get these splits right early on. If there genuinely is to be a world record attempt in Ayana, it's very important that they get these first couple of kilometres clicked by at the right tempo. We're looking for 68. That would be 2:50 per kilometre. And, well, you can work it out yourself. 10 seconds under 1 kilometre, under 3 minutes for 1 kilometre, puts you 50 seconds under 15 minutes. And the world record, remember, is 14:11. The tempo we're hoping for here is 14:10 tempo. We'll obviously keep you on top of that, although we'll flit off to 1 or 2 field events that unfold as well.
Well, Bondarenko then, Bohdan Bondarenko, look at this, had a failure at 2:26. He's got another attempt now at 2:29. He's second, so he's in a bit of trouble on countback, and he is in trouble now. Big trouble. He's now had 2 failures at this height, and looking at the computer, I think he's gone. He had 1 attempt at 2:26, then passed and had 2 failures at 2:29. There it is. There's the evidence for you.
Well, they've made the adjustments. They went through 1 kilometre in 2:53, although that was on the slow side. But the laps have gone 68, and these are for Ayana in third place. 68, 73 and 67.8. So Ayana now in second as Tavodastup has dropped out, her job done after 3 laps, and Nawawuna, the 22-year-old Kenyan, who's a 15-16 athlete, has the burden of taking them round here at a good steady tempo. She was 4th in the Rio 10,000, was Alice Aprot Nawawuna. Really strong running from her in Rio, and she was relatively unheralded, it has to be said. Won the Kenyan National Championships in Nairobi over 10,000 metres in 31:40, and those of you who know distance running know that the thinner air of Nairobi, although it's only 5,000 or 6,000 feet, 31:40 at altitude is fabulous racing. No wonder she was 4th in the Rio.
Yeah, just looking across at Ayana, we saw her in Shanghai, Rabat and Rome have a go at this 5,000 metre record. It's a pretty good one, isn't it, that Dibaba set, as you said earlier, in Oslo in 2008. It's about time, and when you look at the pedigree of Almaz Ayana, particularly over that 10,000 and the damage she did, okay, in the 5,000 metres, perhaps she went a little bit off track in qualification for the final, took a lot out of her legs, and in the end suffered dramatically for it. But you're right, Nawawuna did very nicely indeed in that 10,000 metres, if you remember, particularly in the first 5,000.
So Nawawuna from Ayana, from Obiri, Teferi, and then Diro Nida. Shannon Robury back in that second quartet. She's in, what, 8th place at the moment, is Sharon Robury. Interesting little hit out at 5,000, this for the American, who won over 1,500 metres in Zurich last week. That was on Thursday last week, so 8 days ago. She was so delighted with that victory over Laura Muir of Britain and Jenny Simpson, and a strong field. 2:55 for that second kilometre, 5:49. Well, we can forget about the world record. We were looking for 5:40, and they're almost 10 seconds outside the required tempo before halfway.
Well, Kanad in the men's high jump then. What can he do? Olympic Games silver medalist in London. He was 6th in Rio de Janeiro with 2:33. Drifted badly through the bar.
Well, she's got the gap, created a back gap of about 25, 28 metres now, as Almaz Ayana over Obiri, the Olympic silver medalist. She's lapping at 66 seconds per lap, can you believe? That's 13:45 pace at 5,000 metres. I don't think that world record is under threat anymore, but she covered a 1,200 metre segment in 2:12 and has just put in another 66, about a 67-second lap. So she just covered 1,200 metres in under 3:20, and she heads down the back straight now with just over a lap and a half to run. Oh boy, you're left wondering yet again what might have been as she goes through 200 metres to run. Obiri looks to be really labouring now. Teferi too. Both of them tried to go with the initial surge from Ayana, but of course if you do that and you're really not up to it, you pay for it for the remaining laps, and they're both looking tired. Robury here has run a far more balanced race, may pick off one or two names, although the gaps are big now as Ayana comes down the home straight. Those hunched shoulders. Talking to her agent Jos Hermans yesterday, he believes she can still make adjustments to her training to improve things. As she goes through with 1 lap to run, it's going to be mighty quick. Some distance inside 14:20, I think, but the world record surely of Dibaba is safe as Ayana continues top of picture with that lovely galloping gait of hers. The gap is probably 35 metres, maybe 40, back to Helen Obiri, the 26-year-old Kenyan who worked so hard for that silver medal in Rio, behind her compatriot Vivian Cheruiyot. Remember, 14:26 to 14:29. Cheruiyot's closing speed was undeniable. But Ayana now enters the final bend. It's been a fabulous effort from her. If only those middle laps had been a little bit quicker. She slowed right down. I counted a couple of 73s. As she comes into the straight now, it's going to be yet again a near miss for Almaz Ayana. She did this in Rome. She did it in Rabat. She's doing it again here in Brussels. The crowd rise to their feet down the home straight in the King Baudouin Stadium. Watch the clock. It's massively quick here from Almaz Ayana. 14:18.91 with some very, very slow laps dropped in there. If only it had been a more even pace throughout for the Ethiopian. You can imagine what might have been. Obiri in second place, Teferi in third, De Ronida in fourth. Shannon Robury sprinting home ahead for fifth place in 14:38, 14:39 approximately. Good running that from Shannon Robury. Indeed, a personal best by around 9.5, 10 seconds for the American. And the rest of the field, well, they're coming down the home straight now as we see these hugs and celebrations from other athletes to Ayana. The Australians, Wellings and Lacaze, who have had a fabulous season. Ailish McColgan, whose season has moved on massively with personal best at several distances. Steph Twell crossing the line now in about 15:15. A tired-looking Steph Twell, who too has had a super season. But Almaz Ayana, well, it leaves you with a mouth-watering feeling about what she might achieve in 2017, come a packed stadium at those London World Championships. Almaz Ayana then a meeting record 14:18.89, but ultimately some 7 seconds shy of the world record. Obiri a personal best. As for Teferi, as for De Ronida, a North American record for Shannon Robury in fifth place. Mutazessa Barshim at 2:32, second attempt this is. He had a perfect card up to and including 2:29. Then there's 2:32 bar beginning to cause one or two problems. Kinnaird has gone clear, Barshim has not. That's a second time failure for Barshim. Kinnaird cleared it at the second time of asking, but he's the only man clear so far. And the other 5 men in the competition, including Robbie Grabarts of Britain, Ghazal of Syria, Silverstau of Belarus, and Protsenko, each had 2 failures. So there's the card of the Olympic silver medalist. Robbie Grabarts next to go then. Jumping with newfound confidence this year, has to be said. His personal best 2:37.
Goes clear.
The body language tells it all. In second place, he's back in business at 2:32.
Well, the men's are 1,500 metres next on the track. It's a big field here, 19 starters in this 3 3/4 lap race. Charlie Grice going here for Great Britain, the Rio Olympics 12th placer. Big personal best at 800 and 1,500 for him this year. There's the cream of the field, though. And Asbel Kip, so disappointed, the three-time world champion, with his 6th place in Rio behind that astonishing charge to gold of Matthew Centrowitz with a 50.4 final circuit in Rio's stadium. Makhloufi, the silver medalist, is here, though. There he is in the green of Algeria, the silver medalist in Rio. I actually thought he might take the gold, but Centrowitz ran a very, very smart race. Kiprop here determined to make amends for his poor positioning throughout the race in Rio. Really feels he let himself down. Makhloufi, who has broached new ground over 800 and 1500 this year. Manangoi, very fast finisher. He was disappointing in Rio, went out in his heat for Kenya. He's so much better than that, Manangoi, the world number 3 this year. Away we go then, down the back straight. Gregson to the back of the field there to right of picture. And that tall, loping style of Asbel Kiprop in the blue vest sees him slot in behind the pacemakers. He's gone off quickly, he looks ambitious here. Makhloufi just getting involved in a bit of traffic there into 4th place, holding his hand out as if saying, I'm turning left now, okay? Igida it is too, who was 5th in Rio, who slots into 5th place here, and it is quick, there's no doubt about that, as they come down the home straight. Remember, we're looking for a 55 first lap. They should go through here in about 41 or 42 seconds, Stuart.
Yes, indeed. Igida, we mustn't forget him, the Moroccan in that field, but certainly Kiprop is doing what perhaps he should have done in the Olympic Games. He got himself into trouble twice in the Olympic Games, and of course it was an opportunity after what happened in 2012 when he was injured going into that championship. But here he is, a man who is capable of sub 330, and he is better when he does lead in this sort of way. Luffy is also there, but Igida as well, and they're now beginning to open up a gap. This is quick.
53.7 at 400 metres from the pacemakers, maybe a little bit on the quick side when we were looking for them to go through, perhaps in about 55, and the 3 or 4 major names behind them in 55.5, 56. It'll be interesting to see what this second lap comes out at. Now, I don't think that's great pacemaking myself. I know some people feel that to lay down a really quick first lap is wise, but that was extravagant. And Rotitic is who leads with 2 laps to run from the second pacemaker Kip to Makhloufi in 3rd, Igida in 4th, and then I think Manangoi in 5th, and Kiprop in 6th place at the moment. No, it's Chariot in 5th place, ahead of Kiprop, as they come up towards 1,200 metres, 800 metres rather, 150.64, and look at that, 56.9, almost 57 seconds, that second lap. It's not good pacemaking, I'm afraid. 53.7 and then 57. It's a huge difference, almost 3.5 seconds difference between the opening laps. Makhloufi, though, is strong. We know that he's powerful in this sort of a race, as indeed is Igida, who's a sub-13-minute 5,000 metre runner. He looks comfortable there in 3rd place. I think they've slowed, and frankly, the pacemaker Kipton should just get out of the way now. He should have done that a couple hundred metres back. Let them race it now. Single file. This 3rd lap will have been the slowest, I suspect, of the race so far.
It's interesting to see Ingebrigtsen coming through into contention, which is now moving into 5th place as they go through the bell. But certainly Igida is there. Makhloufi, who of course got the 2 silver medals in Rio at 15 and 800 metres, and looking in very good form. And Igida looks good too. There's a little bit of a gap opening up, and Kiprop really now needs to start to make an attack if he's going to impose himself on this race.
59 seconds that 3rd lap. It was dreadfully slow. It's Makhloufi from Igida, then Chariot. Ingebrigtsen in 4th place is having a fabulous run at the moment. Could be a personal best for the Norwegian here. Kiprop's got some work to do back in 5th. Is he going to have the legs to attack the 4 in front of them as they queue up now on the shoulder of Makhloufi into the straight? That green Algerian vest, has he got that 142.800 speed tonight? Chariot is, who kicks the way down the home straight, glancing over his left shoulder, and Igida getting so close. Kiprop in 3rd, eases back when he realises he's not going to take it. 3:31.36 there, 55.99 that final circuit. The whole opportunity for a really quick time undone, in my opinion, with that 53.7 opener, which misled the field. The major protagonist would have gone through in the low 54s, and that's just too quick, I'm afraid. You can't afford to go out in 148, 149 tempo and expect to come back and run a measured race with a strong final lap. Chariot there, what a busy last 100 he had. Goodness me, glancing around all the time down the home straight. Igida coming back at him. Kiprop threw the towel in when he knew he was going to be third, and no better or worse. Kiprop is the diamond race winner. Third place for him, 3:31.87, easing back well before the tape. McLuffy, well, I think he's spent now, finishing in fourth. Timothy Chariot winning the 1500 with that personal best, 3:31.34 ahead of Higuita and Kiprop.
Well, Barshim then, a real opportunity for him to stay in this competition, and he does it. Look at that, he was miles away in his takeoff. But that was a real piece of dramatic high jumping. He wanted that so badly. His third and final attempt at 2:32, and it was a good clearance. But here we've got the Olympic champion, Stefanidi, in the pole vault. First look at her of the day. Very powerful vaulter in every sense of the word. She's entered the competition at 4:42 and really has passed several heights. The bar is up at 4:76.
Well, Stefanidi there, good clearance at 4:76. She's a great technician, wonderfully consistent.
Well, the next race on the track, the men's 200 metres, and it's going to be an absolute cracker. It really is. Bakari of the Netherlands, Van der Bremen of Belgium, Talbot of Great Britain, Forte of Jamaica, Jamili, Great Britain, Lemaitre of France, Martina, the Netherlands, Edward of Panama, and Guliev of Turkey. This should be a very good race indeed. Alonso Edwards is already the Diamond League winner with 42 points. He's one of those athletes that have achieved the very best before they came here. But Chirandi Martina, what about that 19.81 in over 200 metres in Lausanne just recently? And Christophe Lemaitre, the Frenchman, multiple European champion in the past, coming back to form, got the bronze just over this man by thousandths of a second. Adam Jamili, so disappointed, fourth in the Olympic final, deserved so much more. Julian Forte of Jamaica, drawn in the fourth lane. Season's best, 20.16. And then Danny Talbot, twice European Championship bronze medalist in the 200. Van der Bremen, Talbot, Forte, Jamili, Lemaitre, Martini, Edward and Guliev. The men's 200 metres.
Set.
Well, not much in it as they go into the bend. Martini of the Netherlands going pretty quickly indeed. Jamili going well up onto Lemaitre. He's gone onto the shoulder of Lemaitre, and Forte going well on the inside. But Chirandi Martina really powering down, and inside Jamili is Forte. Jamili going very strongly and right on the outside. Oh, that's a photograph, surely. Forte, Jamili, Martina, all in the mix there. Jamili ran really well into that final part of the race. He had a terrific bend. Now then, that was close. Have a little look at this. As we come into the bend, Jamili went well. This time Lemaitre not functioning well. Now then, let's just close this down. Look at Martina. He's going well off the bend, into the home straight. He's leading. Look at this in the final stages. Jamili and Forte. Jamili comes through strongly. Martina is there. Now, who gets it?
They've given it to Fort, Julian Fort, 19.97 with a personal best. Jamili, exactly the same time, so it has come down to thousands. They've taken a long time to come up with a result. Personal best for Jamili as well. Brilliant stuff from the Briton with a plus 0.8 wind behind him. It's a lovely evening. It's probably, about 20, 21 degrees here. It's a lovely, mild evening. I thought Jamili was heading backwards about 40 metres out, I must admit. He finished so strongly. He dug really deep for that one. And that margin of victory for Fort has got to be almost literally the thickness of a human hair, because I would have sworn Jamili took it. Martina in third place under 20 seconds as well. Some great times in the wake of that win from Julian Fort, the Jamaican.
Well, it certainly was, and diamond race winner Alonso Edward, as we said, prior to the race, he'd already got a master points. But the thing about this was Adam Jamili ran that brilliantly. 1997, personal best. In fact, Forte, a personal best as well at 1997. And then Chirandi Martina, 1998. So three of them dipped under 20. Lemaitre way down at 20.16. Julian Forte, 1997, personal best. Adam Jamili, 1997, personal best. Chirandi Martina, 1998 in third. What a race. You got much closer than that. Well, Eric Kennard in this high jump is going very well indeed in this competition. 2:35, failure for him, and I think that's it. That's 3 failures at 2:35. He is the leader, though. But Barshim has got one more attempt at this height to try and take the race. It'll be very interesting to see whether he can do that. But Kennard has had a good competition here. Robbie Grabarts then, third and final attempt at 2:35. It's possible. Grabarts needs this desperately. Three times it took him to get over 2:32. Oh no. No, he's gone from the competition in third place with the third time clearance at 2:32. At the moment, Kennard, Barshim, Grabarts. But certainly Barshim looks to me to have the opportunity of winning this if he can take the next height. And there he is, preparing to come in. He knows he can win this. He needs it very, very badly indeed, and he knows it. The last time he had made the attempt, he was so determined. He's been over this height many times before. This could be the last jump of the competition. Oh, that was closer than close. Oh, and Kennard knows that I think that could well have taken him to the diamond race.
No, I think Stuart Barshim with the 12 to go with the 24 will end up with 36 points, and Kennard is the diamond race champion for 2016. 2:32, Kennard winning the same height as Barshim and Grabarts in second and third. Protsenko having settled for fourth tonight. Here's Sandy Morris then. Past a second attempt at 4:76. Here she goes at 4:82. Oh, goes clear. Yes. Morris, who has had a season of seasons, a world indoor silver medalist, an Olympic Games silver medalist, and still going strong. She has a 4:93 personal best from the end of July. She's a wonderfully consistent vaulter and relatively new on the global scene, it has to be said, in 2016. One wonders what she can do in future. I think this is a young lady who might threaten Isinbayeva's world record of 5:06 next year. 4:82 gives her the lead. While we head over towards the back straight, there you can see towards the end of the back straight the athletes lined up for the men's steeplechase. We were threatened with a world record of the women's 5,000 metres tonight. It wasn't to be, although Ayana went under 14:20. But in this steeplechase, there is perhaps a more credible world record attempt from Conseslus Kipruto. It's been much talked about over the last couple of weeks. The Olympic champion hasn't raced since Rio. He's unbeaten this year over the steeplechase, and he's already sealed up the diamond race. He can run here without any threat to his status as diamond race champion. The first 7 athletes from Rio start in this race, and indeed 7 of the top 10 in the world this year on the rankings. It includes the Olympic champion. It includes the last 4 European champions. It's a field of the very highest order. Can the world record be broken? That's the big question. There is Conseslus Kipruto, just 21 years old. He's never broken 8 minutes, but he's gone so close several times this year, looking relatively easy. We flitted past rather too quickly Evan Jager. Can Jager, who ran bravely in the 5,000 in Zurich last week, get under 8 minutes tonight and become the first non-African to do so? The Olympic bronze medalist as well, Mekhissi Benabad, has a devastating 1,500 metre speed, although he's still not the finished article, I feel. He was injured most of last year with an Achilles problem. The drums then ring out around the stadium once again, booming away on that bend. Jager moving around the outside, looking to close up on the pacemakers, but we're looking for a first kilometre here of around 2:37. It's going to have to be very quick indeed.
So Sandy Morris attempting 4:88, first attempt. Oh yes, oh yes. Now this is her night of nights, really. And she has a personal best of 4:93, but this is getting very, very close. And she is looking very strong. The Olympic silver medalist going very well. Diamond League record.
Well, the first kilometre was slow, 2:39.54, and I say that in the context of this being a world record attempt. We really wanted 2:37, 2:38. Paul Kipsiele-Koech has hit the front now. Dort there goes down heavily. Oh my word, that's the last thing you need. He's only pacemaking for 2.5, 3 laps, and he couldn't get that barrier right. What a shame. Must feel awful. Thank goodness he's not troubled anybody behind him other than a slight swerve, and he moves onto the infield and thankfully is safe. But just a click inside 2:40 for the first kilometre, and Kipruto now has hit the front. Jaeger in his wake with 4 laps to run. Now, this is exactly what Jaeger needs. It may not be what Kipruto wants, because Jaeger here could almost treat Kipruto like a pacemaker for this second half of the race. 4 minutes on the clock.
Well, I'll tell you what, Tim, the confidence that must have given Jaeger from that Olympic performance. And we've seen him close to 8 minutes before. He really is an athlete with lots and lots of confidence now. His hurdling technique's good over those barriers, so he's not using as much energy as the rest, as Kibiwott and Bakar come over, along with Bet and the rest. But there is a big gap now between the leading two. And Kipruto came through, he's only 21, as Tim has said. He's former world junior champion, and my goodness me, he's moved so quickly, mature beyond those years to the senior ranks. For the pole vault now, Sandy Morris, 494. Well, I think that's the 494 vault. That is a personal best for her. That is a certain record here. It's a meeting record by 1 centimetre, taking Yelena Isinbayeva's record away, set in 2005. 494. We could see 5 metres. It's an American record of well, of course. One takes that for granted, because she is really flying in every sense. Look at this. She had a few failures early on, but 488 and then 494. The last 3 heights, first-time clearances. US record, world lead, meeting record.
Well, Stefanidis, too, under some pressure here. Katerina Stefanidi, 3rd attempt at 494, no. It actually was closer than that spectacular bounce of the bar suggested. It was her 2nd attempt, of course. She'd had 1 failure at 482, then passed any further attempts. Passed at 488, having seen Morris go clear, and if she'd cleared it first time, it wouldn't have made any impression. She'd have stayed in 2nd. So she had 2 attempts, and the 2nd of them a good attempt at 494, but accepts defeat on the night. Just under 2 laps to go then in this steeplechase. The gap is 25 metres back to Bet in 3rd place. Kibiwott it is in 4th place. But the leading pair, with Jaeger dogging the heels of Conseslov Kipruto, top left of picture, into the back straight now. 2 kilometres was reached in 5:21.72. That effectively kills off any chance of a world record. They really needed a very quick middle kilometre, and it just hasn't unfolded. Strange, really, that they didn't go for it when it was headlined as a world record attempt, and his agent has been quite happy to discuss that with the media over the last few days. But the water jump for the penultimate time, and Jaeger pulling up alongside Conseslov Kipruto there. Might yet break 8 minutes if they can really hack it through this last 500 metres or so. We've got a real race in our hands, with Bet in 3rd place, now quite isolated. Kibiwott in 4th. Mekhissi Benabbad in 5th. Bohr in 6th for the USA, who had such an impressive run in Rio as they hit the bell. But this has been perfect pacemaking for Jaeger by Conseslov Kipruto.
Absolutely, and Jaeger can finish. We've seen that. We've shown his fatigue in the final stages on barriers before, but this time there's a new confidence in the man. 300 to go.
Well, Jaeger's been working on his finishing speed. We know that through this year. He felt it was one quality that was lacking last year. He's on the shoulder of Conseslov Kipruto. Down the back straight now. 200 metres to run. The Olympic champion, the undisputed world #1, unbeaten this year over the barriers, Conseslov Kipruto. Approaching the water jump for the final time. They both go clear well there. And Jaeger, a little stumble. Again, just appears to be a little bit vulnerable as he comes into the straight on the shoulder of Kipruto. The crowd rise to their feet, roaring these two home. It's going to be a charge off the final barrier, but Conseslov Kipruto looks wonderfully relaxed. He's got the legs to beat the American there as he crosses the line there in 77. Evan Jager, another very quick time, just fails to take the win. Makissi Benabad finishing strongly for third place. And in fourth there was Bet. In fifth, Bohr, the Olympic seventh placer. Andy Bayer comes home, a good solid run from him in around 8:20. But I'll tell you what, we talk again and again, we commentators, we fall into the trap of highlighting world record attempts, and it just doesn't happen again and again. They're world records for a reason, the quickest times in history. The winning time there in that steeplechase for the record at 8:03.74, and it's over 10 seconds outside that world record of Shaheen, the former Kenyan, who did it on this very track 12 years ago. Conseslus Kipruto completing a perfect season, 8:03.74, ahead of Evan Jager's season's best 8:04. Makissi Benabad season's best in third, 8:08.
Well, in the long jump, Jarian Lawson got himself into third place, and it was his third round jump. Here, he'd had 8 meters in the first round, no jump in the second, and then 8:04 in the third, and then 8:04 back in the sixth round. So he got third place in all. That was his third round one. He did that again, actually. Lapierre, Fabrice Lapierre, the diamond leader and winner overall, 8:17 in the second round. That was the only time he went beyond 8 meters, incidentally. Had a no jump in the first round, and then 8:17 was his best jump overall. Lapierre, World Championship silver medalist in 2015. But Manyonga, well, what about this? We'd had a few 8 meter 20, 8:24, 8:26, no jump, 8:28, and then 8 meters and 48 centimeters. That is a very, very good jumping indeed. No jump in the last round, but that doesn't matter. That was perfection on the board. Terrifically athletic, 2.5 hitch kick into the sand. World number 2 distance for this man. Fabrice Pierre in second place, and then Manyonga in first place with a personal best of 8:48. Well, I'll tell you what, Tim, we've got a real pole vault demonstration going on the far side of this arena with a young woman, Sandy Morris, attempting 5 meters, and she's got it. Well, first time clearance, that's a second time clearance, I beg your pardon, at 5 meters. Thank you. She's thanking someone, the bar, I think, for not coming off. But that is 5 meters, and that is a new meeting record, a new Diamond League record, a new American record, a new personal best, and all the other bits that come with it.
Stuart, I'll tell you what puts it in perspective for Sandy Morris is she's only the second athlete in history to clear 5 meters outdoors. Christine Baeva's world record from 2009 in Zurich is 5:06. Morris was already second on the world outdoor list with 4:93. Well, she's just improved several classes.
Well, there's the lineup for the men's 800 meters. Tuka, Bosnia-Herzegovina. Kitilit, Kenya. Murphy, USA. Rotich, Kenya. Bossa, France. Kipkeita, Kenya. Kajot, Poland. Bet, Kenya. And once again, the pace to be set by Bram Som of the Netherlands. Kajot, a couple of times European champion over 800. Won that this year. There's Kipkeita, what a finish he's got. The 19-year-old, the last lap, terrific speed in the World Youth Championships. He ran 48.63 for the last lap. But this is Boss, the Frenchman, who's second in the diamond race. But Fergus Rotich, with 33 points, leads it at the moment. Two laps of the track then. And this will be a race that will be very competitive in the final stages. Certainly Clayton Murphy's gone off very quickly. So has Tuka on the inside. Kipkeita running very wide at the moment. Watch out for him. As we watched him in Paris, he came from way, way back from the back of the field. And certainly this is proving to be a good opener, but well, they're not actually going with the pace too much, are they? Kipkeita's there. Bet is the man latched in behind Murphy. but certainly they're not going with Bram Som at the moment as they go down the straight.
Well, I'm intrigued to see how well Murphy goes here, Stuart. Of course, a surprise Olympic medalist, Murphy. He is a former miler, ran a 3:52 mile just last Saturday in the Fifth Avenue Mile in New York. And he's going strongly here. He's taken this on, the burden of leading this pack, because pretty soon Bram Som, of course, is going to step aside. And Murphy's leaving himself out there to be shot at. But the Americans have got a real diamond in this young man. He's only 21, and he's running so bravely.
Yeah, Murphy leads. Kittilät now moving very strongly ahead of Boss. And Rotic now moving well. Kipketer's got a little bit of work. Oh, Kipketer it is again, who's really making some headway round the top bend and going to challenge Murphy as they come into the straight now. At the end of this race, it's going to be it's Bet, in fact, in the middle. Bet and Kipketer. Now, Kipketer's got the finish. Tuka coming wide on the outside. Bet, Kipketer, Tuka coming very wide. So is Kashot. Bet and Kipketer. This is going to be one of those very tight finishes right on the line, and that looked like a shot in the end. Kashot really stunned the lot of them. 1:44.39. It was a battle between the Kenyans in the final stages. Then all of a sudden, Kashot, who's been such a good competitor in the past, came through and took it on the line. Let's have another look at this, Tim.
Well, you're right. I'm looking shot here nearest the camera. It goes past the entire field. That's 6 fellas he passes in the last 50. He's a brilliant racer. And I'll tell you what, on the inside there, Bet is so busy celebrating arms wide that he doesn't realise Kashot, 3 or 4 yards to his right, has gone past him. Watch this. Spreads the arms, thinks he's got the victory, celebrates. That's a coaching error of the very first class.
There's the result of that 800 metres. Kashot 1:44.36, Bet 1:44.44, and Tuka 1:44.55. And look at that, look at the rest. How close was that one? Rotic is the diamond race winner, and in a way he deserved it. He's run very, very strongly throughout the whole season. We have a world attempt now at 5 metres and 7 centimetres. One of the magical moments. Succeed or fail. It's true theatre. No. But this night will be remembered by a young woman from the United States, Sandy Morris, the second woman only in the history of the event to achieve 5 metres. But what an end to a great meeting.
We've enjoyed a top night of action in Brussels, but that's not the end of the athletics this weekend. Live coverage of the Great North City Games follows this programme, whilst tomorrow morning from 9:30 on BBC One, we have the 36th staging of the UK's biggest running event, the Great North Run. And should you miss anything of this most iconic half marathon, there are highlights at 6 o'clock on BBC Two. So plenty to come, but that's it for this year's coverage of the Diamond League. And what a season it's been. Goodbye.
Welcome to the first Diamond League meeting of this Olympic year. The diamonds are to be fought for here.
Look at Kenny Allison fly. It is a new world record.
That's a monster. The celebrations continue for the Frenchman. Oh my word, Laura Muir has smashed the British record.
Of course he's got this race won. Of course he's the hero of the crowd.
Ruth Chapet opens up a new era in women's steeplechasing.
Eilidh Doyle, can she hang on? It's going to be tight.
He's a bit of a showman, isn't he?
The win for Bolt. He's back in business. Fire all around the track, because we had fire on the track for Mo Farah.